Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today's June 24th, 2016, Friday. We're going to review a very exciting week. Well, it was pretty quiet until the last day, today, where we got word overnight that the people of England voted to leave the European Union, known as Brexit. They want their own autonomy. They want their own control of their government and regulations and laws. So they've chosen to leave the bureaucracy of the European Union and become independent. And we're going to look in this video the market's reaction to that surprise decision, because there was an extreme amount of volatility this past week. And this decision to leave the EU was not expected. So there were some big moves today. And first we're going to look at the GLD, the weekly chart on the GLD. And if you take a look here, we're hitting new 2-year highs on GLD, which tracks the Spider Gold shares. And we've, since beginning of this year, we had the first run up, increasing volume, and here this next leg up higher after making a retracement in May. And now we're breaking through 2-year highs in the price of gold. So while equities broke down today, risk off, equities broke down, gold and silver went higher and broke out past resistance, which for a while, even last week, this level was acting as resistance, and we saw some selling going into the testing those 2-year highs. But the news today has really created a catalyst, a major rush to gold to break through those psychological 2-year highs, and we see the 200-day moving average, or the 40-week moving average, is now pointing higher, and this new breakout is confirming that. And the 10-week moving average and the 50-day moving average it's bounced off that 50-day moving average into new highs. So this is confirming still our belief that we're in the early stage of a new bull market, which could last a few years. So we're still in the early stage. A lot of investors are recognizing this. As you see here, pullbacks were met with strong support. But from this view here, looking at the GLD, this could make a move up, a good move of 20 to 30 points in the GLD. That could be very good for the junior miners as well. And now as we move on to the GDXJ, look at this 2016 and this huge run that we've seen in 2016, and we see that one pullback to the 50-day moving average or the 10-week moving average, and we saw how strong support came in here. It's almost like a straight 70-degree line higher, and look at here the 200-day moving average, which was pointing down for so long, break through that moving average, which I highlighted to you if you go back to my blog, the big break back in February, highlighting the possible end to the bear market. And we haven't really looked back. Only that one little correction in May did we get to add to positions and some of the higher quality positions. But now, especially with this Brexit and especially with rising gold prices, we could see a lot of these junior miners re-rated higher, and an increase in potential M&A activity this fall. Taking a look at the S&P500 large cap index, we see a major breakdown through the 50-day moving average, and we're on huge volume, on the highest volume of the year. So we're seeing a rotation out of equities, which we were preparing for sometime this summer. Um, and we're seeing that capital moving into today with the significant news today. We're seeing capital flowing into precious metals, gold and silver, the junior miners, treasuries, and the U.S. dollar and the yen. Uh, but that probably is a temporary situation until they can buy some more gold and silver and some more of the junior miners. So, very careful right now with the equity market. Already, we're seeing lots of distribution in stocks, and we're beginning to see major breakouts in precious metals, junior miners, and in silver. Take a look at silver now, which is forming a beautiful basing pattern here and testing a breakout at 17 and 17 and a half. And you can see the strong accumulation in 2016. This is the silver is one of the nicest looking charts that I've seen in a long time. And I really believe that we're going to see a major breakout coming in silver. It could be next week, it could be a couple of months from now, but the chart is really setting up for a powerful move. And I've forecasted this once before back in 2010, 2011 when silver went to $50, but it's really beginning to look for the first time in a long time that silver's just on the verge of making a major breakout. Look at the 200-day moving average, which was pointing down for so long, now beginning to point higher. Look at this sort of basing period and a handle. Um, and look at the volume here, increasing volume on each higher move. While the stocks on each higher move, it was on lower volume, and then on the sell-off, it's on huge volume. So there's a lot of distribution, but in silver, it looks very strong, and it should be. Make sure that you have silver because it could see some explosive moves in the second half of this year. Remember, I forecasted even in 2015 that gold could reach 1600 and the S&P could decline to 1600 by end of 2016. I may have been a little bit aggressive with that, maybe 2017, but I still hold and believe that we're going to see some dramatic up moves in precious metals. This is just the beginning with Brexit. I think we're going to see more of countries looking to uh, cut regulation, cut bureaucracy, look to build their industries, their economies, create jobs, protect their own citizens as their number one duty. And I see this trend moving, increasing over the coming years, not going away. And hopefully that trend will eventually want to have a money supply that's backed by precious metals and by real assets. And that's why we focus on gold and silver and the highest quality junior miners. Okay, I want to look at a few charts of some companies that I own and that are also advertising sponsors on my website, goldstocktrades.com. First off, let's look at Treasury Metals, which is the symbol is TML on the Toronto. And it's on the verge of possibly breaking out of a major cup and handle pattern here at 60 cents. And this could be a very powerful move if it does have a breakout here. And we're seeing some very interesting volume in 2016. Watch this at 60 cents. It looks like a very strong base with a handle here. Uh, they are a very unique company as they own the 100% of the Goliath Gold Project in northwest Ontario. and they're advancing this now at the permitting level, so very close to production. CapEx could be low on this. They have a PEA from a few years ago that showed that the CapEx could be under 100 million Canadian. So very significant for a company that's going to be financing a mine, constructing a mine, to have on the lower end of CapEx costs. And I think we're going to hear some exciting developments on the permitting and also with their feasibility study that they're advancing right now as we go into the end of 2016. Keep a close eye on that 60 cent. Many of these gold stocks have already broken out and made major moves, but Treasury may be setting up for the beginning of its next move. As I mentioned before, many of the gold stocks have already made their major moves, and one that I've spoken to you consistently about for a few years when it was trading at prices even below 10 cents a share is New Legacy Gold, which can be traded as NUG on the venture and as NULGF on the U.S. side. And it's had a huge transformation over the past few years, and especially over the past few months. Since we've been following this for a couple of years, but it's been an exciting few months. And they have an exciting land package on the Cortez Trend in Nevada, right next to Barrick's famous gold rush discovery. Barrick's the world's largest gold miner. And we began to see the turning of New Legacy in February. And February, Barrick acquired 32 million shares, became the largest shareholder. Then in April, Oceanic Gold, who's a rapidly growing mid-tier producer, acquired 47.6 million shares. And then right after that, we heard that, and the news was published, that Tocqueville Gold Fund, which is one of the oldest, one of the most prestigious, one of the most premier gold equity funds, purchased 19.5 million shares. And that really changed the whole dynamic behind New Legacy. Investors who are questioning now really are seeing that this is one of the most exciting exploration stories in Nevada right now. And the company just began drilling on its 2016 exploration program. You should take a look at that news on what they're drilling. It's in a strong uptrend. It's already made its major move. It's breaking into 5-year highs. But just so happy to see this story beginning to gain the traction from the investment community, from strategic partners, from institutions such as Tocqueville, and seeing a company being patient, knowing that management, who's experienced and technically the best in the business, being patient and knowing that that this is an exciting place to be, right in the Cortez Trend in Nevada. And last but not least, I mentioned MX Gold Corp, which just announced the closing of a 4 million Canadian private placement, which should fully fund their entire 2016 work program at the Willimax project. The Willimax project could be a near-term producer, and I'm excited to hear about some developments. But this is one story that I highlighted back in February, March, and it made a move, but then continued to correct. But was able to recently raise up to $4 million, raised around $4 million, and that's going to fully fund their work program. And they're located in British Columbia, and I'm excited now that they're funded to hear some potential news flow and developments with what's going on at the Willimax project. So stay tuned and have a great weekend.